What's up, fight fans? This is Chris, Combat Loop. I have a great and cool story for you. I got a husband, a fighter, and a business owner. What is going on, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing great every day.
Man, it's really, really nice talking to you. I remember running into you at Rival, and that fight that I got to see you. I ran into you. He was like, "I'm 40 years old." I'm like, 40-year-old man. I'm 40 years old. Let's go, guy." And so, like from that point on, when I knew you were older, I'm like, dude, that's pretty cool. And then just your story. I mean, being a business owner and being able to do that, being able to transform your life, and then wanting to be able to go into that fight and being, being 43, correct?
43.
And wanting to go and doing something like that, you have to have a strong mindset. So basically, I thank you for being on here. That's awesome. Let's get that story. I want to know what got you into fighting in the first place.
Oh man, the fight just kind of happened somewhat organically, right? I mean, I grew up in Northeast Philly, so I'm accustomed to throwing hands a little bit, right? But I was always scrappy. But yeah, so I guess 2015, I ended up starting a business. Before that, I was really out of shape. I was like 190 pounds, no muscle on me. I'm only 5'6", so I was rotund. And I got myself in pretty good shape, started a business. Business was like wildly successful. We ended up taking it from zero, bootstrapped it, risked everything. Me and my business partner emptied our bank account, started a business in 2015, and took it from 0 to 50 million a year in revenue in 7 years, and then sold it. And so in 2020, we had a wild year where with COVID, we lost like 50% of our business in 6 years. So I got like, just started falling back in the old habits, man. Got heavy again, was drinking, just in a bad place. Social media was messing me up. I read David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. And I was like, you know what? I'm being a little bitch. Like, I'm either gonna have to fight for my life or I'm just gonna give up, right? Like, I'm just gonna, this business I built, I'm just gonna let it all go to shit. I'm gonna give up. And I'm just like, that's not who you are. You fought too hard to get here. Like, fuck that, right? So canceled social media, just started getting in better shape, just kind of locked in, started reading more books. And then I was like, I need a pattern disruptor. Like, I got to challenge myself. So I started doing jujitsu. I'd never done martial arts at all in my life. And a little while after that, it's kind of my mindset. Once I got into it, I was like, hey, can I do a fight? They're like, what, man? I'm like, yeah. If I trained, would you let me do a fight? They're like, yeah, you got a long way to go, but since you're just started, but yeah, eventually you could do that. So I always just had this goal in my head, like, man, I think I want to do a fight. And it was about end of 2021 where I was like, no, I definitely want to do the fight. Like, help me figure this out, and started training to build the skill to do it.
Yeah, but it's just crazy. It's like you're this business owner, you're leading men, and you're like, oh, guess what, guys? It's time to have a fight now. It's like, you build yourself into it. Jiu-jitsu makes you super competitive. And being 40 years old, we kind of talked about it earlier. You're 40 years old. You really don't have too many avenues to compete at. I played co-ed softball. That's not too competitive because it's not like die hard, but you want to get that extra competitive. Being in that age, I mean, it's kind of huge. And being a leader in men, man, let me tell you, it's a good message. How do you get to persuade that message into those people that you lead to say, hey, I just got in a fight. I actually fought in a fight being 43. I think you could give a great message with that.
Yeah, man, I think I'm called to lead in life, to be honest with you. It's just one of those things. It's always been a natural position for me. When I played sports, I was like always the captain, and just in general, I feel just called to speak up and lead people. And so for me, leadership is about service and being vulnerable and being able to show your failures, but always being able to progress towards a goal. And challenging people to get outside their comfort zone. And for me, the fight is just an expression of that, right? I had to challenge. I'm a big believer. There's nothing you can't accomplish if you put your mind to it. If you have a dream in your mind, you just design a plan and do the work. And that's what I did to grow and sell my business. And that's what I did to learn the skill to fight and actually execute on having a fight. So the goal as a leader is to inspire other people, and especially men. I started a men's group recently as well, just to get people together because, man, life's hard, bro. And there's not a lot of people out there supporting each other, lifting each other up. And so if I can be an inspiration for other people to challenge themselves, to go outside their comfort zone, to really commit to something hard, and through that process, grow and develop into a better father, husband, leader in their own community, then that's a life well lived. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, for sure. And then you're our leading because you get me inspired. When I heard that when I met you and got that story, I'm like, oh shit, it makes me want. I can't be a pussy about stuff in my life anymore. So it's good. Tell me about training. Like when you were training, how was
Yeah.
being 43 years old and training really hard? How'd the body handle it? Did you take any injuries or did you just get to walk through it because you had a little recovery process? You said you were working pretty much as a full fight camp as a fighter. but you get injuries. Did you get any during your fight camp?
Yeah. So oddly enough, man, I basically was off and on for fight camp for like 3 years because when I had the idea, I was still running the business. So I was working 50, 60 hours a week. I would get up at 4 a.m., train before work, and then do my strength and conditioning, in the evening and the week, all that kind of stuff. So even just trying to get to the point where my coaches felt like I could enter like real fight camp, I was taking injuries. I blew out an ACL, separated shoulder, torn like rib muscles, all this kind of stuff, a bunch of other ones, wrist ligament I tore, a bunch of stuff. So I would do these and then I would just like, whatever, I'm not quitting. So if I got a torn knee, then I'm doing upper body every day. I'm doing Rome, like whatever I could do to stay in shape and keep building towards my goal I was doing. But these setbacks would last months. You don't recover as quickly at my age. So I would take months and then I'd have to relearn my skills because I was still in a learning phase. I didn't grow up, I didn't have the martial arts background. So I was like trying to learn the skill and physically develop in order to be able to do it. So the injuries would physically set me back, but more than anything, they set me back from a skill development perspective. So I'd have to kind of get back to a point where I would be able to get close to a fight. So all in, it took me like 3 years, went through a bunch of essentially like a never ending fight camp. And then sold the business in 22. So it was like March of 24. I kind of went full bore, tore my calf muscle. The jiu-jitsu tournament, was out for several months, but then came back and like really committed to it. And yeah, was able to, I put myself in a position where after I sold the company and left, I could train full time. So I was training 2-3 times a day, recovery, massage, strength and conditioning coaches, the whole nine. It was wild. It was cool.
I bet it is pretty wild. It's you're getting the full camp. Well, let's be honest, dude. You're a really successful businessman. That's what it is. You are, and you're always leading people. You're always the full one. You're always there. And then you go into class, dude, and you go into jujitsu class, and then you get a 18, 20-year-old, maybe 24-year-old gets to just grab you up and humble you real quick and to show you, hey, you're not too good at this sport. Let me show you something. Does that help you mentally to show you and level you out? Like that's got to help you in different aspects. I know with me going in and thinking I'm very, very good at sports, I go get my ass whooped. I'm like, I'm not happy about this. It makes me want to be better at that sport. It gives me a stronger drive, but it also helps me. It would probably help me in the business world being a leader.
100%, man. That's one of the things that got me like addicted to jiu-jitsu when I first started, right? Because I was running the company, a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. Everyone's coming to you with the answers. You get on those mats, nobody cares who you are. Nobody cares what you're doing. And yeah, the young guys dominating me. I would say the thing that humbled me more was like the old out of shape guy who doesn't look like he knows anything, right? And he just like slowly sucks me in like a boa constrictor. I'm like, why do I feel like a helpless child right now? What just happened? This dude is like 60 and out of shape and he just whooped my ass, right? So that was even more humbling. But it really did put you in the right headspace because as a leader, it's important to be humble. You got to leave your ego at the door if you're going to lead people. It's not about you. It's about serving the greater mission of the business or whatever it is you're doing. And doing jiu-jitsu every morning, I was a 6 a.m.er. I still am because that's what works best for my life. Yeah, you got to be in there with the old guys. But you get humbled, you get that exercise in, you get your head cleared, and you can come in and serve, man. I mean, it puts you in a much different perspective. And plus, there's nothing harder you're going to do the rest of the day. I don't care what came at me. Like, I literally just had some old man just had my life in his hands. I'm good, right? So, yeah, it's amazing. And I think a lot more leaders would be well served to put themselves through a humbling experience like that every morning and kind of get their head right before they go and lead other people.
Yeah, I think so. So I was going to ask you, like, for a business person, what do you think it kind of directly goes into fighting? I think that being a business leader, tell me what it directly gives you lessons into fighting.
Well, certainly the idea, like in order to be successful in business and life, right, you got to be willing to challenge yourself and grow through that adversity, right? You need adversity to grow. If you're not pushing limits, you're not going to get better and evolve. And so training obviously gives you that, right? At every level you want to increase, you get humbled again, and you got to have to go through this adversity and stick with it. So just the resiliency to be able to keep going and learning and growing is important. The reality of like to check your ego, right? It's real easy to kind of, that ego gets out of control when you're making money, and, and people are coming to you, it's like they naturally want to impress you or give you things, you know what I mean? They kind of put you up on a pedestal a little bit because you're the guy paying the bills and all that kind of stuff. And that gets weird, especially if you're like a middle-class son of a longshoreman like me. I'm like, whoa, I kind of have that mentality. So like jiu-jitsu kind of reminds me of my roots, right? Just to be gritty. And like, that's what got me there, is just being gritty and working hard and being humble and serving others. So you're like, okay, the martial arts and the fighting and the jiu-jitsu, all of it, man, just that that practice really drives those points home and, drive those points home, and then allows you to mentally get into the right headspace, which I
Yeah.
think is important, man. I'm a big believer in like meditation and things like that. And I almost use my time on the mats to kind of get me there. I mean, everything
Yeah.
goes away. The stress of work, family, kids. I'm not thinking about that. I'm just thinking about what I'm doing there on the mats in that moment. And to me, that's a form of meditation.
Yeah. I want to, being 40 is a big deal to me, like to be able to get to that point to be able to fight. But I really want to touch on being overweight or being somewhere where you can't be, like where you don't want to be at. And you're like, there's no way I can't get out of this and blah, 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 blah. People don't understand you can get out of it. You were there. People think, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. No, you were there and you said, hey, I'm not doing it. What's a message for people that think that they can't get out of it? What they can't get out of this? Oh, I'm too big, I'm too fat, I'm too whatever in life. What do you have to tell them, to those people?
Yeah, man. I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm on a mission right now. I'm writing a book, and the name of the book's called "Fuck Average," right? And so I'm
Mhm.
starting the "Fuck Average"
I
movement, and
like
really
that.
the idea is the average person marches towards a life of regret. So there's a book by hospice nurse, and she studied what most people felt and said on their deathbed, and the vast majority of people said that they regret not living the life true to themselves, living the life they wanted to live, right? And I think so often, and this is where the position I found myself, right? I was in a good job, making decent money, had a wife and the kid, right? But I was unhappy. My relationships were actually shit. To the outside world, I looked like I was doing fine, a little out of shape, like all these, dads eating wings on the weekend or whatever. And I'd given up the vision I had, this ideal vision for myself, right? We all have this little voice in our head, and that's our potential talking to us, saying, when you look in the mirror or when you lay your head on the pillow at night, like, man, I could have done better today. Man, I'm not really happy with this relationship. Man, I'm really not happy with the way I look. That's your soul talking to you, man. That's your potential telling you that you're not living up to what you could be. And when you get to your deathbed, you're going to, like there's this definition of heaven, and it's getting, when you die, get into a mirror and seeing yourself in your reflection. And hell is seeing who you could have been. And I don't want that. And I don't want that for anyone else. And that was the catalyst for me. This, like, I'm not going to live a life that I regret. I'm just kind of just walking through these motions. And the thing that I'm teaching people and what I'm writing in the book is that you got to create momentum. You need a pattern disruptor. You need to find some time to self-reflect and just build some momentum in your life. Dude, you're not going to go from being 190 pounds, completely out of shape, not even be able to run a fucking mile like me, to being shredded and getting in the cage and fighting somebody. Like, you don't get there by, going all in. You get there by getting up a half an hour early every day and just walking, just building the basic building blocks to get yourself there, showing up at a jiu-jitsu gym and actually just making that first call. That little bit is what you need. You need to create some mental, first you have to have the belief and the vision that you are meant for more. And we all are. And then you just have to take the little step to create momentum and then just keep building on it and understand that it's not going to happen overnight. But you will slowly, through these actions, through doing a hard thing, you're going to change the vision you have for yourself. You're going to change the story that you tell yourself. And I started telling myself that I'm going to be wealthy and I'm going to be shredded and jacked and I'm going to live a happy life. And it took me, 5 years or so. And I did it. I did all that and more. And now I'm living a life that most people would kill for. And I'm like, I was just an average dude marching towards fucking regret like everyone else, fat and unhappy. And I just decided I didn't want it anymore. So that's it. Make a
Yeah.
change. You just have a small little change could be a catalyst for momentum that will change your life.
Self-belief is a huge thing in life that people don't understand. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then no one else in the whole world will. There's people that will not believe in you. They tell you to believe in you, but the
Yep.
one true thing is you have to have a lot of belief in yourself. I'm a very God-loving man, so I love God so much, and then I believe in myself extremely. I believe in myself. I believe I can do a lot of things that a lot of people can't do, and there's people told me things that I cannot and I will never be. And guess what? I'm standing up and I'm strong and I'm doing things that people told me I could never get to do. So I'm very, very thankful. I got an awesome family, awesome people. I got a good support system. There's a lot of things that go involved in it, but for me, I got a very strong self belief, and it's awesome. And your story is just tremendous, man. It makes me really happy for you that you're at where you're at, and your family and everything and inside of it. I want to know what you were feeling though as you were walking to that ring that night, dude, because that's something I want to know. That self belief, is that self belief there? Are you feeling that? What kind of nerves? Is it butterflies? Or are you just like,
Man,
I want to know?
it was it was not what I expected but this is about doing the work, right? Because the whole time leading up to it, in my head, I'm thinking I'm going to be fired up. Like I'm going to, you know, like I want a little bit of that rage to go in there and like really do the thing. Right. All day, man, I was eerily calm. I was so calm and just chill and like hanging out. I was listening to like poolside EDM while my coach was wrapping my hands, like just the most chill shit. And I'm like hanging out and I'm like, why am I not getting worked up? Like what, you know, like what's going on? And then, I think I just done the work, man. I felt ready. So I was super calm. I walked in, I was just locked in, got all the way in the cage. I didn't start to get a little fired up till I seen him come in the cage and get a little worked up. And I was like, okay, let's go. But for me, it was just time to do it was just time to do work. Like I had put in so much work and training. I felt confident that I was like, I was going to leave my best performance out there. And the thing I was probably most proud of, I had benefit of, I've got a few UFC fighter type guys in my community that I got the benefit of getting to know. And I was talking to them, Shane Burgos and Jalen Turner. I was talking to those guys and they were talking
Those are
about
dogs. Those are some dogs.
Yeah. Shane's a dog. You're right. You know, so I was talking to those guys and just telling about my experience. And I was telling them how proud I was that I kept my head the whole time. Right? Like everything I was doing was move, counter move. Like I was aware of everything I was doing, which for me was a big win. Like that's what I wanted out of this. I wanted to treat it like a professional. Like I went in there, anyone can go in and just throw hands like a wild man. I was like, that wasn't what I wanted. Right. I wanted to be a martial arts practitioner. So I was really, really proud of that. But at the end of the day, what it came down to was just grit and will. And he hit me. He almost power slammed me with that I had a triangle. He almost power slammed me. I let go of it. We scramble. He hits me with a hard knee that was hurt my stomach for like a week, man. My stomach was bad. But at that moment, I caught him with a big overhand, and I think he was a little tired from picking me up. And it and I just went off from there, right? And I just dug in and got gritty there at the end and got to TKO. But it was
That's awesome.
The most primal and euphoric experience of my life, man. Dude, I would go back in that cage tomorrow in a minute, but I think it took a toll on my family doing a fight camp and stuff like that, you know, like
it takes a toll on everybody around you. It's not just,
it really did.
Fight camp's tough because you got to really focus on yourself. It's not focusing on anybody else. And you got to make sure you're going into war with someone and you have to be mentally for yourself. And it's a hard thing to be around others. You got to get that family aware of it. And it sucks for pro fighters because you see them have to go through it and they're doing it on a different level. They could die. You're not saying that you couldn't have died in yours. You can get really injured. And so those guys are going against the best of the best in the world. So it's like, man, you got to give every single piece of you inside of it. So it becomes very, very difficult. Tell me something that fighting has taught you that business couldn't have taught you.
Oof.
And there's a lot, dude. There's a lot, especially mentally. It's not all about the punching because that's an easy one. Like, business could have taught me punching. Well, some businesses did. I work at Applebee's, dude. I was a general manager for years at Applebee's. It taught me how to fight. Business taught me how to fight, you know. But being a leader where you're at, it teaches you a little bit besides the humbling stuff. Because, you know, you get humbled every day. Every time I go into a gym, it's humble city. I get humbled and it makes me feel like, because I'm, you know, walking around the average Joe, I'm going to mess you up. But against average Joe in a gym that fights every day, you ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, there's so many parallels. What I was struggling to find out was like what it taught me that business didn't, right? Because in both of them, you have to have this long-term vision and you got to be willing to do little things every day to build towards it, right? You got to be willing to suffer and have ups and downs and setbacks. I think, and in both of them, like you get to these points where like you hit these dark days and you got to mentally be able to like survive that, right? When injuries in training was a big one, man. Like I would have these setbacks. I'm like, gosh, I've been training for 2 years. Now I'm injured again. I got to, you know, it was like that kind of stuff, but same in business. So I'm trying to think of something that fighting taught me that business didn't. I guess physically, it has to be like that. Like to me, the mental stuff is very, very similar.
Oh yeah.
The physical idea that I've got a reservoir that I didn't even think I could reach. Like I think mentally, I think I say that we're all stronger than we think we are. And I think business can teach you that too. But
not the
physically,
same level.
No, yeah. Well, mentally, you're right. That's what I'm saying. Like physically, there's a, which I guess to your point kind of plays into the mental. Like there's a place you have to go in camp before I even got into the fight. Honestly, in camp, my coach put me to places that I didn't think I was going to come out of, man.
No.
Shark tanks and just crazy. You know what I'm like? how long are we doing this? And it's like, you're like, no, there's no way I can do that. There's no way. And then you do it and you're like, holy shit, you know?
I'll be honest with you, it's almost everything you can learn. And it's in certain types of businesses, it's very comparable to fighting because you're doing the same thing, dude. I mean, even
Yeah.
physically, like you're going in physically, it's physically wearing you out. I mean, you don't necessarily get the muscles from doing your physical job, but man, you're working all day. You're wearing
Yeah.
yourself down mentally. I mean, it's tough. And depending what kind of job you have and what you're doing, they're very comparable. People don't understand how comparable fighting is and business and things like you do, everything corresponds and it kind of goes into a log. And it's kind of difficult to see those things inside of it. But I mean, you're right when it goes to seeing all those things. I don't know. It's
I
a,
got one for you.
oh yeah.
And it's like, it's a throwback sort of thing, man. The primal nature of fighting, right? I think in today's day and age, we got real fucking soft. And I think these average guys, I saw it. I made a post the other day. I was at my son's soccer practice and I'm walking around, getting in some exercise, doing push-ups and stuff. And I'm watching these overweight dads sit in the chair, screaming at their son for not hustling. Right. And I'm like, man, if the zombie apocalypse was tomorrow, or if like civil war breaks out tomorrow, your fat ass is the first one to go. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're here yelling at your kid and like, you can't even meet the standard yourself. And what I think fighting reminded me is that at the end of the day, right? Like when the cars go away and everything goes away, it's like, that's what I said was primal and euphoric. It's just me and another man. And I know now in my heart that I can protect my family if I need to, right? If shit goes down, like that's what fighting taught me. Like, it's like, at the end of the day, we're just cavemen, dude. And so every
Yeah,
once in a while, you're gonna have to protect yourself.
you're right.
And that gives me a level of confidence that business could never give me.
I agree with you for sure. Yeah, I think you found that one right there because you're one on one. It's in business, you have other things too. And this one, you are one on one against, and your family can't help you. It can give you motivation, but it ain't going to help you in any other way besides you
Yeah.
just being in there being the man. Well, dude, I'd love to give you this time to do your sponsorship, to give your book, to be able to do your business. Anything
Yep.
else you want to give out sponsors or shout outs to your family, friends, your ones you
Yep.
love? I love giving that time to you, dude.
Man, well, shout out to my guys at Gracie Apollo Beach, Lewis and Aaron. Love them. It's a family out there, and they're amazing gym, and had me so well prepared and just believed in me and took me on at my old age. They're like, "You sure you want to do this, dude? You're 40." And I'm like, "I'm going, dude." Like, when then we got you, we'll get you there, right? And my coach Manny, my boxing coach, Man Manny. So love those guys. And then really what I'd love to call people too is give me a follow. They'll Brian McNally on Instagram, brianmcnally.com. I do a motivational speaking. I've got a book coming out probably early next year called Fuck Average. It's how to pursue your potential and reject regret. And I have a men's group here locally that we meet every so often. So if you're following all my socials, you'll be able to see that stuff. And man, I'm just trying to inspire people to live their best life and avoid that life of regret. Like, it's a true passion to me. It's not like a business. It's just something I'm doing to help others. I've got companies and things I'm doing, investments. That's what I do for that. But this is passion, man. I want people to live the life they were meant to live. And I see too many of these people just marching towards life that they're going to regret, and they're unhappy, and they're not being good fathers and husbands and leaders in their community. And if you follow me, you're going to get a wake up call, and hopefully you'll be happier, healthier, better person.
Hey, you're doing a great job, man. You inspired me to be better all the time. And that's what it's all about. You're helping others. You can get one person, you get two, you keep doing that stuff, man. And it's awesome. I think we all want to be better at things. And sometimes you get stuck in this world of media, you get stuck in the TV, and like, I can't be better. But half of it of your life is going to be a mental struggle of saying, hey, I'm going to be able to do this. You just need to do it. And bucking up and being a man about it. Well, here's my favorite part of this, especially this one, is going to be pretender versus contender. I'm going to make you the real contender, and I'll be the pretender. I do want to give a roll with you someday. I always like to do a spar with everybody I do, but we got to do a roll. You got a blue belt. I would like to see what that is. I want to see, being a 43-year-old and a 40-year-old, it'd be like the Iron Bowl of the old men. So, I do it with the bare knucklers. I like to spar with them, but I would really like to give it a roll. I got to keep getting better at jujitsu. Jujitsu is one of those sports I want to get better every day at. And it always makes a challenge, and challenges for every day.
Come on down, man. We'll do it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking the time, and I definitely want to continue to hear your story, man. We got to get together sometime, and I appreciate it, dude. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you having me on.
Man, thank you. Bye.